Well, as you can see, we are in some confined spaces. We can probably guess what's going on today. I have my ratchet, I have my little screwdriver I always use to pop out interior clips, and I have a 10, a 12, 14, and a 17 millimeter socket because probably gonna need them. It's a Japanese car. So we're gonna take out this rear seat. Now, there's a bolt at the bottom of the seat down here, right here. There's one underneath me, and then the seat itself actually will press down here and lift up. So let's get it out real quick. It's supposed to be a 23-pound weight reduction, which is good because as much as I want to race this car, I'm sick and tired of not having any stereo in it. So I'm going to actually make custom boxes to go where these seats were. There we go. And in case there was any doubt over what you get yourself into, my car was repossessed before I bought it from the dealership. Nice little 40 caliber unshot rounds sitting floating around the back of my car. Makes me wonder what else we're gonna find. Okay, we'll put that up here. Swear to God, I did not plant that. How interesting. Now we've got our, is that in the way? Okay. We've got the seat mounting brackets and the baby brackets for seats and that stuff like that. So that's obviously had to come out too. And we've got to unbolt the seat belts, and the interior panels we're going to take off for the side to get the seat belt mechanisms out. And the seat belt mechanisms are probably going to make up the most of this weight reduction. And looking at the actual contour of the chassis of this car, it's actually going to be a really nice spot to put my subwoofer boxes. Okay, so since I'm sitting on this side, I'm going to go ahead and take out these other things after I get the appropriate size here. One thing you want to make sure of when you start taking bolts out of the chassis of your car, make sure that the holes don't go through into nothing. So there's not going to be water and air coming in through here. And I'm not quite sure whether these do yet or not. I can't see in there. I'll have to look at that closer. Don't forget your compression washer. It actually holds the, well, it's not a compression washer. It basically holds the bolt onto the assembly that you're taking it off of, so you don't have bolts falling on and off of things. So now that we've got that off, let me pause you guys and take off this other side. Hopefully we won't find any more ammunition. Okay, so what I've done, I took the brackets out, I put all the bolts back in like I said I would. I am going to use the front ones to secure my sub boxes down when I get to that point. I can actually see speaker wire, so I'm wondering what speakers have been put in this before I got it. Guess we're going to find out. The next things we're going to do is remove this seat back so we can get more room in here and I can open the trunk and get more light in. So I've already popped them from the back. Okay. Lord knows I'd like something to sit on for once now. Now, there's these plastic clips that hold in the styrofoam surround. Okay. Those come out. And this whole piece back here will actually flip over and we can get access to the mounting points back here. So with my little screwdriver here, if I can get under here, so then we can flip this over. Actually, feels like that spin. Well, that's only held in place by one clip, but it's not a big deal. We're putting that back most likely anyway. So we'll get that off. Now, let me open the trunk so we can get some more light in here, and I'm probably going to reposition you guys on the back glass so we can see straight down. Okay, now that I got you guys at the back, driver side, passenger side, okay? And this is a little bit different than I was expecting. There's the bolt to remove the seat back. Now I can see we can actually get this part out, but to finish removing all of this hardware and stuff, we're gonna actually have to remove these two, and the seat belts are behind there. So we'll remove this first to get a little bit of room back here. And there's one on each side. Okay. Don't lose your bolts. If you get hit by the 86 curse and wreck your car, you need to put all this stuff back in there. So, and there's the seat back. Okay, now to remove our side panel and get to these brackets, there's a little bit more to do, but it's actually not hard. So we'll start from the left because we're actually going to begin at the right. And what would any car video be without some confusion? So these clips need to be removed from the trunk trim. There's another push clip down here that needs to be removed. And then we're going to go all the way forward where you can barely see up here. You're going to pull up on the door sill trim, okay? And we're just going to pull the door gasket just along this edge where this side panel is. No more than necessary. Okay, that is plenty right there. Now, one thing, actually before I set this too far away so we can still see it, all these white clips where it was held in place, let's make sure that they're all on there. So when we put it back together, it goes together, and they are. Okay, and again, all this is just repeated on the other side. We've got two more, look like 12mm bolts right here. Now for this seat belt here, first of which is, well, out of shot completely. I don't know if I can. Can we still see that yet? Not yet. Hold on, I got you. There we go, right there.
No one's gonna save you from your storms. Let it go.
Okay, so our 17mm nut is actually straight up there. You can almost, oh, ratchet's such a piece of shit. There it is. Okay. Might be a good idea if you are prepping for a track day. Seat belts can get finicky. They have to be perfectly level in their mounting positions to be able to retract the seat belt. So you can see we can get the, if we can hold still enough, the seat belt will come out, right? If you're wrong, if it's off at all, the seat belt is locked, and a lot of people have problems reinstalling seat belts. They have to be held exactly how they were mounted. If they're off at all, the seat belt will lock. That is how they work. Okay. Yes, that's rudimentary for people who have done this before. Let's try to remain a car culture and not be a bunch of haters and talk shit about people who are learning. And then one more 14mm down here. And like I've been saying, I'm reinstalling most of my bolts. So if I ever go back, I will have less to keep track of, less to lose. Besides, I'm never going to competitively race. I do it for fun. And honestly, 1 pound to 2 pounds of bolts is not gonna make the difference. A driver mod is what makes the difference. Okay, so what we're actually doing now, we are gonna have to remove part of this panel to get to that bracket up under there. But we're gonna do half of it anyway, so we remove these seat hooks. So what we're gonna do now is there are 4 plastic clips on the shelf tray that go all across the back. We're gonna pop those out, and there's more plastic clips that hold in this piece of trim. So we're gonna pop all this out real quick, remove that seat belt bracket up here. We're gonna remove these seat hooks. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is a pain in the ass. So, to remove that piece of plastic, you've got to pull off the airbag cover, which in itself isn't really that hard, as long as you remember that there's an explosive device back there. It pulls off fairly easy. Don't pull up here because there's clips behind the headliner, and there's 5 or so up here. So you got to kind of finagle the thing out and not tear shit up. And then there's these blue bands that hold it on there in case the airbag deploys. Now, there's a little 10mm bolt. I don't even know if you guys can even see it. Underneath this panel right back here. When that bolts out, then this pain in the ass comes out with that little white clip there that didn't want to come out. So then that frees us up to remove all this plastic stuff around the deck. Okay, I removed these finally. Pain in the ass, it's 2 bolts. I'm about to be late for work, so we're gonna finish pulling this off. You're supposed to use a trim tool to get up under here, and quite frankly, I'm getting a little frustrated because I'm hot and this is taking longer than I wanted to. So I'm gonna gently put my fingers up underneath the deck panel. I don't know if we can see this very well. Gently underneath the deck panel and push up on it, hopefully. There it is. There's a plastic bracket that the whole deck is attached to, and that's what's holding it in. So now that that's loose, we now have access to get to these bolts up here for these upper seat brackets, and we can unbolt the hooks. And these, I will also be reinstalling hardware. If a pound makes that much of a difference, you need to be a better driver or skip breakfast that day. Granted, all pounds add up, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword, catch-22. Whatever you want to say about it. We've got out everything that we need to get out now. Basically, it's just reassembly of shoving all this stuff back together, and hopefully it will go together in a quarter of the time as it took to get it off, especially now that we know what we're doing. And this deck lid would be a perfect one to there's that. Probably shouldn't have put it quite so together. There's that. So, that's pretty much it. Just throwing this stuff back together. I'm not going to waste any more of any of our times. I will bring you guys back once everything is together. Okay, so here's where we are now. I've got it all back together, and it's a little raw looking. It's probably gonna, yes, be loud with road noise. However, isn't that what a race car is about? Plus, this was free. I didn't spend $250 to get a PVC piece to go over all this. I'm okay with it. I'm gonna put a half cage in it eventually. My speaker boxes will go good in here. I'm happy with it. So let's see how much weight we saved. After carefully stacking all these brackets on my little scale, we can see we are at just under 10 pounds, just for the brackets. For the seat back, we are what, get the scale to balance there, what, 12 pounds or so? Both seat cushions are about 7 pounds. So roughly between the hardware, the seat cushions, and the seat back, we saved a good 25 pounds conservatively, and that's worth it. That'll balance out putting subs and an amp in. So we won't have gained anything, and we can look at losing weight elsewhere, such as lightweight exhaust and other such things. Removing airbags will save weight. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do to lighten this car. Toyota did a decent job with it. But we will see as things go on.